Hi, Andy Manning here, and it's day 19 of the 90-day challenge, and just going through a few things, assets, liabilities, and expenses and things, and how they break down. And assets and liabilities are some of those things that you really need to sort out. So if you've got something you think is an asset, and most people think that their house is an asset, when unfortunately, if you're paying a mortgage and you're paying bills and everything else, it's more of an expense and a liability, not an asset. So if you're renting a house, let's have a look on the other side here. If you're renting a house and obviously someone else is paying the bills and everything else, that then becomes an asset because now it's putting money in your pocket. No, anything over the expenses that are paid and anything else you've got to pay, your tax and things, everything after that is your money. So it's an earning. So it's not an expense anymore. It becomes more positive to you in your cash flow. Now, if you look at a car, for instance, they're the biggest depreciation items you can ever get. I mean, you buy a car for 15,000. By the time you've driven it off the forecourt, it's lost 2,000 to 3,000 already straight away. If you try and sell that on the open market now, in a car trader magazine, even if you literally just bought it off the court, it will be at least 2,000 or 3,000. Anything from £1,000 to £3,000 less in value. So what you've got to look at is when you're purchasing things and when you're doing things, is this thing going to make me money? Is it going to make me make an expense? Or is it going to give me a liability where I've got to keep covering costs for it all the time, and maintenance and repairs and things like that? If it's the latter, obviously you want to make sure that you've got the money in assets to cover that. I.e., if you've got a property that you've got that's been willed to you or is sitting empty, rent it. Look at ways to make money from that property, because if it's sitting there doing nothing, it earns you nothing. Whereas if you've got a vehicle, exactly the same sort of thing. And think about how the first, like Hertz and Avis and these other hire car companies that are out there have become so big. Well, they started off with probably a couple of cars, and then they started renting it out, and by renting the car out, they then be able to get another car. Then they had 2 cars to rent. So now the guy can, whoever sets up, has he 2 cars renting. They're renting continuously for a whole year. Let's say each car gives him £12,000. He can then buy a brand new car, or a car of another standard, or a lower standard to start off with, and then move up the levels by using these cars as leverage. And obviously, the more cars he has, the more money he makes, the more new cars he can get, and so on and so on. So eventually, all his cars are brand new cars, and that's what you'll find in most hire companies now. If you've got a car that you drive yourself, then obviously that's a liability, and it is going to be an expense as well, because you've got your tax, your insurance, your road fund license if you've got that to pay. It's not including anything else that you've got in your vehicle. You've also got basically your fuel that's got to go into it, your oil, any spares and parts you need to do, any maintenance and stuff. These things are things that go on top, which become expenses. So that makes your car not an asset but a liability. So those of you that out there that think that an asset is your house that you're living in, it's not. I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not an asset. Not for you anyway. For your kids, maybe it will be an asset, but again, that's another story. Now, a great book I read on things like this is a book by Robert Kiyosaki, which is called Financial IQ. Now, underneath this video, there should be a link down there of some type, which it takes you directly to the Amazon page where it is at the moment. You can have a look at I think you can flick through the first chapter and a couple of chapters in the book, but have a look at it. And if you've got Financial IQ yourself, go back through Financial IQ and read it. Actually read it and take notes as you're reading, because I think what most people do is they forget to take notes. And I've just been reading some of the stuff, and I've got notes and notes of all different stuff. Literally, pages of notes from reading a couple of books that I've been reading at the moment. And obviously, Robert Kiyosaki was one of those books that I've read. And again, it's all about taking information and then using the information. As if it's no good reading the book and then just not doing anything with it, because you might as well not have read it in the first place. So your takeaway from there, guys, should be go and have a look at the book on Amazon. Have a look at what you've got that you think are assets, and just work out whether it's making you money or not making you money. If you've got things that you've got in there that could make you money, again, look at those and then see if you can leverage that to actually in time get you money. This could be anything from hiring your bike out or something like that to someone in the inner city, etc. And using your driveway as a car park or something. Simple things like this could actually give you a bit of cash when your driveway's empty, for instance, and you're not there all day. You go to work, but someone works where near where you live, need somewhere to park. Well, it's going to cost them loads of money if they park in a car park. They can park on your place. So again, look inside this book. It really does give you some ideas and open up some stuff. And if you've enjoyed my video, please make a comment on the comments bar underneath the video. And if you enjoyed it, I've been Andy Manning, and thanks, and I'll speak to you on the next video. Bye bye.